DonInLondon, hello. It's February 8th, 2009, Sunday morning, just after 9:30 or thereabouts. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol, so recovering alcoholic, day at a time, and any other behaviour you can possibly think of which could be addictive. But always striving to be perfect, and never so. So life, it goes on, one day at a time for me. And I get a lot of experience, strength and hope from going to the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous to keep my life, help me keep my life on track, just trudging that happy road to destiny. And trudging the happy road to destiny doesn't necessarily mean it's all good. We learn to live with life's hard knocks as we go along in recovery from addiction. And it's no different to anybody else's life. Life happens. We are susceptible to anything that is possible to happen to an individual. So whilst people are looking probably for a fix and a bed of roses, the fellowship doesn't actually offer that. It just offers a way out of the addiction. And I don't speak for AA, no one does. It's a leaderless organisation in some respects, although we all take a lead for our own behaviour as we go along one day at a time. We share a preamble at the beginning of every meeting, and I go to meetings as often as I may, if my head is right or if it's wrong. And the preamble goes like this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes, and it doesn't either endorse or oppose my videos either. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So although I talk about the fellowship of AA because it is integral to my life, I don't speak for it. And I keep on needing to say that because it's very easy for people to think, oh, who the hell is he talking about this, that and the other? And actually I'm just an ordinary person talking about my recovery and how it works for me. And that's the best I can do. I can't speak for other people. It would be wrong. It would be me forming a judgment of their recovery, and I don't wish to do that. But I listen to people and what they have to say, and it helps me understand my own humanity and my own human condition, which is as vulnerable as anybody else, with enough courage and faith and confidence maybe just to keep on going one day longer sober, to see how life will turn out. And I'm very fortunate. There were many times when my life was almost ended by my drinking, when I couldn't stop and I was still in the malady, the problem of it, rather than in the solution, which is daily working out how to make life work. And part of my mantra in the morning is saying, how am I feeling? Why? What can I do? And if I'm with people, how are we feeling? Why? And what can we do? And the other part of waking up and saying, you know, what sort of a day do I want? Do I want a day full of unhappiness and sorrow, because sometimes it's that way, or happiness because it's possible to be happy? So this month, February, there's 12 steps of action for an individual to make life work better in recovery. And I'm on step 2, and it's the second month. So one step a month I hope to achieve this year, or just see how far I go. And step 2 is, came to believe that a power greater than I could restore me to sanity, or a higher power, and it reads exactly as, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And it's in the plural. So a lot of recovery is about being with people and understanding the malady. It's not about trying to do it on our own or get a degree or graduate in some way, because I suppose graduation is waking up in the morning not having had a drink the day before, and daily graduation maybe. But some of the summary of step 2 says this: what can we believe in? AA does not demand belief. 12 steps are only suggestions, and it's important. These are only suggestions, they're not rules or obligations. Importance of an open mind, variety of ways of faith. We choose our faith, how we understand a higher power. Substitution of AA as a higher power, certainly me in the early days. Flight of the disillusioned, certainly me most of my life when I was drinking. Roadblocks of indifference and prejudice. We become indifferent and prejudiced against ourselves mostly when we're in the absolute final throes of rock bottom. Lost faith found in AA, and I have found my faith in human nature as life has gone along. Negative and positive thinking, yes. Self-righteousness. Defiance is an outstanding characteristic of alcoholics. Why else would we keep on with the self-obsession and the obsession of drinking if we weren't defiant and stubborn? And step 2 is the rallying point to sanity. Yes, getting our lives back one day at a time. Trying to understand why were we in that problem to start with, for enough time, not looking back, not staring, and then moving along to trying to make a solution for the day. And then right relation to God. And for me, God is truth. It's the absolute truth, not my truth or me putting across an opinion as if it were truth. The absolute truth of now, which needs to be informed not only by me but all of humanity, where we are on the planet right now. So we need to take account of not only our own understanding of what the truth may be, but develop it and understand it better in the company of others. Because we can't work alone. Nobody can, unless you're a hermit, living in a place where there's plentiful supplies of everything, and it's not contingent on another human being. So we have to live and understand how to live in the company of others. And I use these books as Bill sees it when I can't get to meetings or I'm sharing on here on YouTube, and daily reflections, particularly this book, because it gives an inkling, if you like, on a monthly basis to each of the 12 steps. So as I said, February, more about step 2, finding our way back to sanity. And for February 8th, it says here, convincing Mr. Hyde. Even then, as we hew away, peace and joy may still elude us. That's the place so many of us AA oldsters have come to, and it's a hell of a spot, literally. How shall our unconscious, from which so many of our fears, compulsions and phony aspirations will stream, be brought back into line with what we actually believe, know and want? How to convince our dumb, raging and hidden Mr. Hyde becomes our main task. And that's it, behind the mask which we put on. What is Mr. Hyde doing with our ego, fear, and putting on a brave face? It says here, regular attendance at meetings, serving and helping others is the recipe that many have tried and found to be successful. Whenever I stray from these basic principles, my old habits resurface and my old self comes back with all its fears and defects. The ultimate goal of each AA member is permanent sobriety, achieved one day at a time. And that's the best of it, that we get to make the best of what is in front of us for today, without going completely nuts and mad and back into the old obsessions. I'm not looking too far forwards where life has yet to happen. So if we concentrate on the now, we have a better chance, if you like, of keeping our sanity and having it informed by sharing with other people exactly what is going on for us. And from As Bill Sees It, page 22, fear is the stepping stone. The chief activator of our defects has been self-centered fear, primarily fear that we could lose something we already possessed or would fail to get something we demanded. Living upon a basis of unsatisfied demands, we were in a state of continual disturbance and frustration. Therefore, no peace was to be had unless we could find a means of reducing these demands. And it's about, what have I lost in the past? And the answer is probably everything that got in the way of my sobriety. And what am I looking for in the future? Well, there's no point really. Let's make the best of what we have right in front of us and utilise sharing and expression, sharing our views and our understanding, so they can be made more informed by other people sharing back. And it goes on to say here, for all its its usual destructiveness, we have found that fear can be the starting point for better things. Fear can be the stepping stone to prudence and to decent respect for others. It can point the path to justice as well as hate. And the more we have of respect and justice, the more we shall begin to find the love which can suffer much, and yet freely be given. So fear need not always be destructive, because the lessons of its consequences can lead us to positive values. And the gift in there is, if we learn positive values, what makes life work, one day at a time, we have a better opportunity to make life work. And as I always say in my own mind when I get up in the morning, and I said it a few times this morning, God, grant me the serenity, or grant us the serenity, to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.